Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Ang pag-uusapan natin today ang pag-apply for a vulnerable open work permit. Bakit yan ang ating pag-uusapan? Because the reality is, guys, dahil nga marami tayong mga kababayan siguro or other temporary residents here in Canada facing expiring visas, expiring permits, hindi na-extend ang kontrata ng employer, etc. Pati ang pag-apply ng vulnerable open work permit ay ginagawa na ng ilan just so. Siguro, baka sakali, number one. And second na rin siguro to apply, to extend their stay, ano? But anyway, in this episode, we will discuss, sino lang ba talaga guys ang qualified? Okay, mag-apply ng isang vulnerable open work permit. Yan, ang kakausapin natin muli. Ang ating immigration lawyer, Lou Jansen Dangzalan. Hello, Lou.
Magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi kung anong oras man ninyo pinanunood ng itong episode na ito.
Hello. Kahit kami ni Lou, paiba-iba kami ng time zone, lalo na si Lou, nako, jet setter kasi yan, ano?
Hindi naman.
Okay, anyway, alam mo guys, Lou tells me, ang observations niya, no, siguro na rin may dumadami ang mga taong nagkukonsulta siguro kay Lou, no? Those asking about vulnerable open work permits. You think there's been an increase in the number of applicants for VOWPs sa mga panahon ngayon?
So, two ways of looking at it. Number one is anecdotally. So, from my perspective, and sabi mo rin kanina, off-cam, from your perspective, nadadama yung dami ng mga tanong about VOWP. So, dumadami nga yung mga nagko-consult sa akin, dumadami yung nag-express ng intention to apply for VOWP because they're at the end of their ropes, meaning pa-expire na yung kanilang PGWP or pa-expire na yung kanilang closed work permit and their employer is not renewing them. So, siguro, nag-reach out nga ako sa'yo. Perhaps it's a good time to talk about it again in terms of like, sino ba yung eligible ba talaga? Ano yung mga situations na po pwede for VOWP? Ano yung mga situations na hindi po pwede? So PSA, Public Service Announcement.
Yan. Oo nga. Actually, I also told Lou. I think marami rin halimbawa, no, alam mo naman, sa ekonomiya ngayon, there are some employers, for example, who hire DFWs for a 2-year contract. May ilan na rin nagtanong sa akin, ito lumalapit, Lou. Kumbaga, qualified ba raw sila mag-apply for a VOWP kung sila ay na-lay off kalagitnaan o bago matapos yung kanilang 2-year contract kasi they feel vulnerable na parang, pinapunta mo kami dito 2 years tapos 3 months pa lang na-lay off na kami. Yeah, can you clarify that for us? Are they eligible for that?
So, depende. Meron mga na-layoff na perhaps eligible sila. Meron din mga na-layoff na dahil na-layoff lang sila, hindi naman necessarily eligible sila for an open work permit for vulnerable workers. Siguro ang pinakamagandang puntahan dito, Ina, is yung regulations mismo under our immigration laws. Under section 192, 196.2, paragraph 1, ito yung definition ng abuse for the purposes of POWP. So naka-enumerate siya 1A to E, diba? So physical abuse, including assault and forcible confinement. So meron mga ganyan situations. So sexual abuse, napag-usapan na natin to before, yung na-chancingan ka halimbawa or china-chancingan ka ng iyong employer, that's not acceptable kung walang consent yan. C, psychological abuse, including threats and intimidation. So ito medyo pumupunta na tayo sa gray area, di ba? Kasi A and B, very clear yan, di ba? Psychological abuse, baka naman from your perspective, you feel psychologically abused, pero baka naman talagang normal lang talaga yung relationship na gano'n at medyo sensitive ka lang. Pasintabi sa mga matanggap ng message. Pero kung threats and intimidation, klarong-klaro rin naman yan, di ba? Pangapat, financial abuse, including fraud and extortion, and reprisals. So, dito sa enumerated grounds na to, Ina, malinaw na malinaw, is layoff, hindi kasama, di ba? So, ano ba yung mga situations na nagle-layoff ang government, ang employer sa Canada? Halimbawa, magsasara, di ba?
Yan.
Very typical reason for layoff is pagsasara ng business or paghihigpit or paghina ng business, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Alam naman natin nasa gitna tayo ng tariff war with the US. So, humihina talaga economy ng Canada at the moment, which means na kung may layoffs for the purposes na nagsishrink yung business talaga, ay hindi naman ito considered as abuse per se. Pero,
Oh,
yung sabi ko kanina example, 'di ba? Baka na layoff ka, pero meron mga ibang extenuating factors. Halimbawa, ni-layoff ka, ginamit nilang cover ito, pero in truth dyan, laging delayed ang inyong mga sahod or kulang
okay.
ninyo. 'Di ba? Hindi kayo binabayaran ng tawag dito ng holiday pay, for example, na entitled talaga dapat kayo. Or meron silang ginawang ibang abuse. Halimbawa, pag-kolekta ng binayad nila for the LMIA dun sa sahod ninyo, kinakaltas. Tapos sinabi nila, lay off na kayo next month kasi humina ang business. That does not give them blank check, 'di ba? Para mag-VOW, para ma-lay off ka lang na hindi ka pwede mag-VOWP. In that situation, maaari ka mag-apply ng VOWP. Pero kung purely for the purposes of pagsasara ng business, paghina ng business, malabo talaga ito, Ina.
Okay. I got an inquiry before saying, Luna, okay, ang kiniklaim ng employer niya, they will be laid off because of humina nga ang negosyo. Ang tanong niya, bakit kami? Merong iba namang mame-maintain, hindi fired, will not be laid off. Bakit kami? Pinag-iinitan yata kami. Yung mga ganun balo. Pasok ba yun?
Pwede. Like on its face, normal ito na hindi naman lahat nire-retrench kung humina ang business, di ba? Thankfully, nag-work ako sa unemployment lawyer at the beginning of my practice. Doon kasi ako talaga nag-training. So, may mga situation na ang employer justified naman in retrenching only a part of its workforce kasi nagsiscale back sila, di ba? Dahil mabawa yung isang section nila is naka-geared towards the American market. Di ba sarado nga ang American market ngayon? So, in that situation, pwede. Pero, kung nahalo na ito sa ibang issue, halimbawa, pinag-initan ka na nga sabi, may ebidensya ka na inaabuso ka, kinakaltasan yung sweldo mo, or hindi ka binabayaran ng tamang sweldo, according to your contract, hindi nila sinusunod yung terms ng LMIA, pwede itong maging grounds na pwede ka mag-claim ng VOWP. Pero mag-ingat tayo kasi yung iba kasi may nagko-consultant sa akin dati, tinatanong ako, bakit ako pinaglilinis sa labas? Hindi naman ito part ng trabaho ko. Diba?
Yan, oo.
Alam mo yun, ang technically correct, pero kasi parang pag mga one-off or twice, ganun, tapos hindi naman siya abusive na situation, lahat naman talaga kailangan talagang linisin. It's part of the job duty talaga generally of everyone. Pati yung manager, sila mismo nagsha-shovel ng snow. Diba? Or nagsusnow. Tapos nagre-rotate lang, hindi porket ganun, na hindi siya kasama sa kontrata mo, pinagagawa sa'yo, hindi naman siya necessarily abusive. Unless dangerous siya. Meron talagang mga provincial legislation and regulation na sinasabi na kapag ka dangerous ang trabaho na pinagagawa sa'yo, you have the right to refuse that as a matter of being an employee. And that is your right under the law. Pero kung hindi naman siya unsafe, in other words, regular siyang ginagawa, tapos iniikot, ni-rotate yung responsibility, classic talaga yung snow shoveling Kasi ginawa ko rin yan nun nagtatrabaho dati sa Tim Hortons. So, hindi ko trabaho dati yun na nasa Tim Hortons ako, na baker ako. 'Di ba? Pero, nag-shovel ako ng snow kasi alam ko, umiikot siya sa team, yung responsibility doon. So, hindi siya abuse. 'Di ba?
I see. Actually, I think, Luno, because of the climate, that current climate sa immigration ngayon, siguro it has come to a point where yung mga work TFW na nangangambang mapapauwi, naghahanap sila talaga ng butas, kumbaga, sa employer nila. Na parang, pwede kayang sabihin ko na, naku, sinigawan ako niyan isang beses Yung mga ganon, they would do that, out of desperation.
Precisely.
To stay. Pasok ba yun? Yung mga ganun ba? Alam mo, may isang beses sinagawan ako niyan sa harap ng mga co-workers ko. O 2 beses. Yung mga ganun ba? Have you heard of those?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fantastic analysis on your part, Ina.
Oo.
Kasi totoo, alam naman natin na nasa end of rope yung maraming kababayan natin. So talagang hinahanap talaga nila yung whatever solution na makita nila. And alam naman natin may mga umiikot din sa mga influencers, unfortunately, na mag-VOWP kayo kasi ganito, di ba? Open yan 1 year para ma-extend lang. Ang situation na dinescribe mo kanina, sabi mo yung sinigawan ka twice. Kailan ka sinigawan? Hypothetical natin. So sinigawan ka siguro nung proby ka, tapos sinigawan ka ulit like last month. Tapos, na-retrench ka, tapos ngayon mag-claim ka ng VOWP. Lagay niyo yung sarili ninyo sa perspective ng visa officer, ng immigration officer. Hindi pa parang pagsususpetsyahan na kayo, bakit ngayon ka lang nagre-report? Diba? Tapos kung hindi naman siya pattern of behavior, siguro kung babalik tayo dun sa heads, yung enumeration kanina, diba sabi ko pagdating ko sa C, sa psychological, medyo subjective na siya, diba? So, yes, pwede yung psychological abuse. Pero ito kasi yung parte sa 5 bagay na ito, yung pinakamahirap i-prove. Kasi usually ito verbal, bihira naman itong gagawin sa text or sa email unless talagang medyo may pagka-eng-eng yung employer, di ba? Na talagang may paper trail silang gagawin. Pero kung nangyari ito, tapos it's a pattern, established pattern, yes, malakas yung VOWP claim mo. Pero kung one-off, twice, maybe 3 times, alam mo yun, tapos talagang meron naman talagang context na pwedeng i-defend ng employer kung bakit ka sigawan, hina yung case nyo. Yun.
I see. Okay. So I guess it boils down to what evidence or proof you have. Tama yung sinabi mo. I think the keyword there, if it's a pattern of behavior on the part of the employer. Is there any way for the employer to dispute any alleged abuse claimed against him or her?
Absolutely. So, right now, according dun sa nilatag nilang report sa SIM or sa Citizenship and Immigration Committee, yung standing committee sa Parliament, kasi every year nagre-report ang IRCC dun Sinabi nila na isa sa mechanisms na ginawa nila is after may issue ang VOWP, ino-audit nila yung employer. Diba? So alam nila na you can expect na yung employer ninyo will most likely be able to connect the dots na in-audit sila because nag-report kayo. Diba? So if you're worried about that, don't be. It's your right kung talagang abusive yung situation. Pero it's also a caution to those who want to game the system. Kasi tandaan niyo nababalik ito sa employer at pwede kayong matunton ng employer ninyo. And napag-usapan na natin to before in another episode, Ina. The question of potentially defamatory claims against you. Prove na hindi naman totoo. Although I can argue on the side of the employee din naman na wait, they're exercising their rights. You cannot necessarily claim defamation against someone who's exercising their rights, 'di ba? Pero new territory kasi ito. So, ingat din kasi baka pwede kayong resbakan somehow kung talagang balak ninyo i-game. Ngayon, kung talagang ginamit ninyo to depensa sa mga karapatan ninyo, huwag kayong mag-alala. Dahil talagang hindi magsasakit yung kung ano mang gagawin nilang resback, diba? Pero to this particular point, ano ba yung mga ginagawa ng IRCC pa? Napansin ko rin, of late, na ang VOWP applicants, kahit na simula pa lang, ang dami mo ng evidence na sinasubmit on your behalf to support the VOWP claim, nakikita natin na si IRCC humingi pa parate ng extra. Kasi nga talagang doon talaga sila naninigurado na talaga bang kaya niyong patunayan to. Ganon. So in the case of my former client, sinabi namin, part of the patterns of abuse here is sexual abuse, and part of the patterns of abuse here is yung delayed pay or withheld vacation, statutorily entitled na vacation pay nga nila. Yeah. So hiningi ba naman lahat ng pay stub for all of the period, 'di ba? 2 years 'yon. So paano kung wala kang access, 'di ba? Halimbawa umalis ka na, ganon. So it's an employment law question, but definitely an immigration question. So ang punto dito, Ina, is si IRCC naghanap na talaga ng ebidensya. So kung hindi pwedeng basta-bastang marites lang.
Okay. Now, yung letter E ba to? Letter D mentions financial abuse. Pasok ba dyan, Lou? Sabi mo, nag-withhold ng salary. Pero isa pang nangyayari din, yung hindi nasunod yung rate of pay Okay? Na nakasulat sa kontrata, hindi sinunod yung sweldo.
Correct.
Pangalawa, ilang beses na rin 'to nagsabi sa'kin, pinapag-OT ng walang extra pay or ng hindi tamang rate yung
Or
OT.
even ino-OT tapos cash na lang tapos at minimum.
Mga ganyan, okay.
Oo. It falls under the head of D. Tama yan. Kasi una
Okay.
sa lahat, violation niya ng LMIA. Pangalawa, violation niya ng Employment Standards Act of the province we're in. Pangatlo, violation siya ng Section D or Subsection D netong 196.2, Paragraph 1.
Okay. Tapos yung other duties, minsan nakarinig pa ako ng storya, Lou. Pinagtrabaho sa ibang location or something like that. Kunwari, same company, but different location.
Yes.
Pasok ba yun?
Ay nako, malaking problema yan. Actually, ako din, nagkaroon din ako ng problema na ganyan recent. Inaaway namin yung employer. Kasi yung work permit mo, if you look at it closely, nakalagay or specify yung municipality where you're supposed to be working. Diba?
Okay.
Halimbawa, nakalagay sa work permit mo is Toronto, pero meron silang location, let's say, sa Mississauga. Diba?
Yeah.
It's a different municipality. Depende yan eh. Kasi kung Toronto nakalagay, nasa downtown Toronto ka tapos nasa North York ka, technically same municipality pa rin yan. City of Toronto pa rin yan. Pero kung sa Mississauga na yan, region of Peel na yan. So ibig sabihin, dapat yung work permit mo nakasaad Toronto tapos may annotation yan dapat at additional locations. Pwedeng gawin yun eh. Kung at the very least, at the beginning, yung LMIA pa lang ng employer, alam namin na magtatrabaho siya principally sa Toronto pero pwede siyang i-rotate sa Mississauga as needed. For example, dapat gano'n yung application ng LMIA. Tapos, yung work permit naka-annotate Toronto tapos Mississauga as needed. For example, yung mga ganyang situation, that's abuse. Kung hindi ka authorized to work somewhere else, you're being asked to work somewhere else na hindi ka authorized, you're being asked to violate the law, that's abuse.
All right. At least that's clear. Ito, final na lang, I guess, Lou. What happens if mapatunayang nagsinungaling ka, hindi ka pala talaga vulnerable worker, mabait naman pala si employer, sinunod ang lahat? You mentioned earlier, pwedeng may risk na balikan ka nung yung employer. But sa IRCC mismo, ano ba yan? Will it be a bad record? How will it affect future applications? Yung mga ganun.
Diba, the internet does not forget. Let me add that for the context of immigration. GCMS never forgets.
Okay, oo nga, nasabi mo.
Yes, diba? So, ibig sabihin kapag nag-report ka, tapos nakuha mo yung VOWP mo, tapos in-investigate yung employer, tapos yung employer nag-respond sa lahat ng allegations mo at pumasa sila sa standards ng IRCC, sasabihin ng IRCC, ano nangyari dun sa employee? So titignan nila, meron pa siyang VOWP. Question is, can they cancel the work permit? At this time, hindi pa. Wala pa. But they can add an annotation to your GCMS. Flag. VOWP claimed per investigation, post-issuance, appears employer has complied with contractual duties, responded to allegations, etc., etc. So may annotation yan na in the future, kapag nag-apply ka ng VOWP, meron kang flag. Diba? So in other words, ano ba yung parable of the boy who cried wolf? Diba? Diba? So kung nagsinungaling ka once, nagsinungaling ka twice, hindi ka na paniniwalaan. So it really goes to your credibility. And you can be assured na every time na may application ka to IRCC, is susuyurin ang iyong applications moving forward.
Yun. Makikita yun. Kahit hindi na VOWP ang applyer mo, mali mo, visitor record,
right,
student permit, makikita pa din yun. Na parang
PR. Absolutely. So it goes to your credibility, diba? So, halimbawa, mag-a-apply ka na, yay, mag-PR na ako, apply na ako ng PR under whatever, express entry, for example. You can expect na susuyurin nila yung mga documents mo at lahat ng kiniklaim mo. Right? Yeah. Parang ano yan. Kasi na, again, GCMS does not forget and your file will have a flag. Kasi yung flag dito is not so much that you claim VOWP, tapos yung employer like responded. They will come from the position na teka, parang baka may credibility issues itong applicant na to. So, ingat, caution dito sa particular client na ito. Ganon.
Alright. I guess, that's clear now, guys, ha? Again, alam mo sa totoo, lahat na talaga ng maaari kasing paraan para makastay in Canada, alam mo yung ginagawa na nila. All avenues are being explored. So again, dito naman sa kaso ng vulnerable open work permit, hindi rin siya spared, kumbaga. So, again, this episode is a reminder tungkol sa eligibility talaga. Kung sino lang pwede mag-apply dyan sa open work permit na yan. By the way, gumagapawang sa baba yung email ni Lou, okay? If you wanna get in touch with him, his email is down there, crawling. Thank you, as always, Lou, so much. We'll end this episode here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!